What's up? What's going on, good people? People was like, man, we need some good old hip hop. So, let's talk that good old hip hop. The back in the day hip hop. Cool. Let's talk about it. What's up, Mr. Bell? Shouts out to everybody out there. It's your boy Sino. Don't forget to hit the like button. Coming through the door. You know what time it is. We about to get to it. What's up? Vlad doing a live stream? Yeah, we finna talk about the business side. The business. You watching the Bulls? Absolutely, I'm watching the Bulls tonight. It's big money riding on the Bulls tonight. I bet the Bulls tonight. But let's get into it. Check in from the Bay. Salute. What's up, Sean Mo? Thank you, man. Don't forget to hit the like button. Everybody who just got here, let them know that you're real. It's free. They don't charge you nothing for hitting the like button. And don't forget, also, subscribe to the page if you're new here. And if you missed the Patreon, today we did drop part 1 of the birth of Christianity, and it blew everybody away like I told you it would, and that's just part 1. Everything was basically in part 1. Everybody's mouths was like, you knew it, but you didn't have the visuals like this. You didn't know like this. I told you. That's all I can tell you is we told you. Now, let's get to it. Now, when Nas decided to make his own crew, the Bravehearts, this was back when the I Am and Nostradamus album was coming out. He was trying to put together a label. And at this time, Nature was going to be his artist. Nature was the one that was closest to him. So Nature was the one that was always, doing the rhyme and everything else. So the group was going to be Nature and Jungle and Wiz and all them. They was finna be a group. Like NWA, his own little crew. Like Jay had Rockefeller and had his little crew. Nas was finna, instead of the Firm, which really wasn't, that was just a clique thing that they made. He was gonna make the Bravehearts, that's his crew. Because that's who he rode with, his brothers and everybody else, and make sure that they were straight. So all the people from Queensbridge that he ran with in his circle, who his brother basically ran with, that was gonna be the group. Now Nature just got in the group. And Nature went and got his own deal with Def Jam that basically was on the strength of Nas. So Nas and them went and sabotaged the Def Jam deal because they only signed Cormega with the hopes that Nas would be on the records. So that whole thing blew up and they sabotaged the whole Nature deal, and Def Jam shelved his album. That's what the whole thing. Def Jam's mad that he signed the contract that he put on the song and all of that. Now we're moving on from that part to now. And don't forget, my Cash App is Carcino. You want to hit me up and support the page? Definitely do that. That's Karceno. Absolutely. So when they going into the process of making the music, nature pulls basically a snake move at the time. Nas is working on his next project, and while he's doing all this stuff to come out with his next work, because everybody was waiting on Nas to come back, nature pulled a sneak move because he couldn't be patient, and he signed with Trackmasters and went ahead and signed with went and got his own solo deal when Nas was out of town. He signed a deal because he was all impatient because Nas had put him on movie soundtracks, the In Too Deep soundtrack. He put him on another soundtrack, so he was keeping Nature paid, but he wanted to be executive producer on Nature's album, and Nature wouldn't do it. We didn't want Nas to be the executive producer on the album. He wanted to make him a producer, but not executive producer. And he let Tone and Pope, basically finesse him into this deal. And then he thought Nas would be cool with that. But Nas was like, it was a setup move because Nas went out of town and you signed the deal behind my back. So now Nas didn't want nothing to do with him. But what Nas was trying to do was trying to get his own label. And he kept saying Ill Will, but Ill Will wasn't a record label yet. So when they recorded the I Am album, like I Am Nostradamus and all that, some of the records on there was leaked. While he was recording the album, bootleggers got to the records. So Nas had to recreate a whole new album. Most of Nas' new songs is on the streets. And he was like, how do they have these records? I just did this and they already sabotaging the album. See, it was a double CD Nas was finna release. And they was gonna come out all together. It wasn't gonna be separated. I Am Nostradamus was gonna be a double CD. Because back then, everybody was doing the double CD thing. The double CD was it. So Nas was finna drop I Am Nostradamus. Bone Thugs had the double CD. Everybody was dropping the double CD. Yugmouth, I think, had the double CD. Everybody was doing it because it counts as like 2 albums. You get double paid and all this stuff. So rappers just really went into it. Pac ended up being the first one to drop one. Then, I think either Master P had did one with the True and all of that. But yeah, around that time, all of these things were coming out double CD crazy. So I Am Nostradamus was supposed to be a double CD. The majority of those songs was leaked. So Nas had to create new songs on the fly. That's why you see songs with him and DMX. He just happened to run into DMX. X was in the studio. And that's what X did that like on the spot for Nas. Because to get DMX to do a song, it takes a lot. But he just happened to catch him. Like, yo, you want to jump on this album, X? And right away, X was like, yo, what up? yeah, shoot. Hey, yeah, let's go. Yeah. You got a deadline? Oh, yeah, I'll knock it out. What do you want? And he gave him a verse. That's the most spontaneous song ever made on a Nas album. That DMX song was done, like they just talked about it, and he recorded it like 20 minutes later down in like Florida. He just ran into DMX and got DMX on the record. It happened just that quick. Favor for a Favor is another one. another record that was added to the album. This album with Scarface, which was a classic, was added to the album because it was not part of the original album. They had leaked the records in there, so they had to keep most of those records off the album. So they put that song in there. You Won't See Me Tonight was the radio joint that they created. That was supposed to be on the album. But the album did what it was supposed to do and everything. And this was supposed to be the bridge to start up the Ill Will Records, the imprint. Like, okay, now we finna start moving towards getting Nas, into his own imprint and everything else, the Ill Will Records. So now Nas is finna get this money from Columbia. Columbia Records is supposed to be the ones distributing it, so they're gonna get the check. So meaning that the check is gonna go to Nas. So Nas gonna get the group gonna get the money regardless. If they put together the album or whatever, the check gonna be there. So Nas gonna get the money, and he just basically gonna divvy, whatever the group is gonna get. But all the publishing, everything is it's the exact same situation with Jay-Z and State Property. State Property was basically a group with individual rappers, and all of those guys, they were like paying their dues, but they didn't realize the money was just going to Jay. They was making a record, cutting a record, going on tour, but wasn't getting any real money. Same scenario here. Same scenario here. What Nas did was actually finesse a deal to get the QB's Finest together and put together an album after the Nostradamus album. The song Quiet Niggas was supposed to be the first single off of the Bravehearts album. And this one, it was Horse, Wiz, and Jungle. And when they were together, this was supposed to be the group. And Nas was going to be in there and go make the fourth. And now the Bravehearts was the crew. And this was it, Nas and the Bravehearts. But the name Bravehearts was owned by Nas. Nas owned that. So Nas is going to get all of this when it was signed in Ill Will, the Bravehearts and everything else. So all of the publishing and everything else would go to Nas. Nas dropped, put that on his album to debut them. Quiet Niggas was like one of the biggest records on the album from the streets. They took that to a whole nother level. Hit the like button, new people. Y'all just got in here. I appreciate y'all getting here and everything, but definitely do that. Yes, sir. Hit that like button. That's right. Yes, my Cash App is Carceno, Karceno. That's how you support the page, sir. So Millennium Thug, I believe that is I believe that is Nation. Millennium Thug was Nation. That's not Nation is somehow Nas's cousin. Somebody told me that they cousins. but he's from the Bronx originally. But he just went out and moved out there with Nas and Queensbridge and stuff and started running errands for Nas. So, but anyway, we're going to get there. So anyway, they did the Nostradamus album and they're featured and everything. They on the Nostradamus tour and 50 Cent is with them. 50 and Tony Yayo is in the group. Like 50's getting ready to come out and do his thing. So 50 Cent is rolling with the Bravehearts at the time, you know, when they had In Too Deep and all that stuff. So at this time, they all was cool. They all was doing their thing. Nature and all this stuff was there at first. And Nature was talking with Trackmasters about leaving because Trackmasters had 50 Cent. So they was cool and 50 was in there. And 50 was basically a member of the Braveheart. And y'all didn't know that, but Tone and Pope was really going to put 50 with the Bravehearts. 50 and Nas, this is how 50 and Nas got close because that was his man. You know, because 50 was in the streets and he was from Queensbridge. I mean, he's from Queens, but not Queensbridge, but still he from Southside Jamaica, Queens. That was his man's. 50 saw what was happening and was asking questions, and he saw that Nature was pulling moves, and he was the one who alerted Nas on what was going on. And then Cormega and all these other people was out there that Nature was finna defect because Nature they was talking like, man, this stuff, man, my album gonna come out, man. Nas gotta come on and sign me, man. And then we got these songs and everything, man. We ready to get it. So Nas is a little hesitant because he feel the pressure from Nation. 50 saw what Nas had the opportunity to do, and that fueled him to make G Unit. And how to do it is watching what Nas did with Bravehearts on the tour, on the Nostradamus tour. 50 is with him. They recorded two songs together. When Nas tell you 50 Cent is the future and all that stuff, that song, the ghetto's too hot, and you better hope we never catch rock. Who you rap with? Right, so they were recording records with 50 Cent. Trackmasters was involved, but once the Nation betrayal happened, that blew up everything. So people were cut off. 50 of them were all basically cut off. Anybody who was attached to Trackmasters, Nas wasn't dealing with no more. Trackmasters was out. Tone and Pope, they pulled a snake move. Nation went over there, and that was that. So, but he used 50 Cent to go after Cormega's girl, you know what I'm saying? Because he was giving him info and he wanted information and sending stuff back towards Cormega's girl and tried to basically take Cormega's girl. And that's what really set Cormega off more. That Nas tried to say, you know, I'm Nas, you could be with me. You don't want to be with Cormega, you know, that was just low down. And this is before Jay was doing that with him. You know, he got mad at Jay doing that to him, but he was about to do this to Cormega, which really set Mega off. Now, to get to where we're going with the publishing. Now, the label is coming to reality. Now, everybody's supposed to sign a contract to join the label, right? And then Horse is looking like, okay, well, what about the money and, you know, the stuff that we doing? Like, okay, when we supposed to drop an album? You ain't finna drop an album yet. You finna get on the QB's Finest, a project that's finna basically launch the Ill Will record label. And from what they was finna do is Ill Will Records, this was gonna be the first album to jumpstart the label and supposed to the way Nas sold it was like this was gonna be for the bridge. All the rappers from Queens, we gonna have a label and Nas finna help us out and he finna blow it up. And we gonna get everybody on it. So the QB's Finest project, when that dropped, that was it. That was supposed to jump start the entire label. So Nostradamus album comes out. Everybody is, oh, this is the best thing ever. We got it. So Nas had to fight to get that Nature album for All Seasons. He had to fight to get Ill Will's imprint on that because Nature had to take him with him. You know, he had songs that he produced with Nature, so he had to take Ill Will with him on that when they did that deal. He didn't want to, but he had to. So Nas ended up winning that down the road. So when the album came out for the Ill Will Records, that launched everything. The biggest song on there was Uchi Wally. Now the Uchi Wally song was hitting. Nas is not on that record. Let me reframe y'all one more time because a lot of people do not know this. Nas is not on the Uchi Wally record. This song was a hit without Nas, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of people just do not know this. Nas is not on the record. Nas is on the remix of the record. So once the record was popping and it was blowing up in the streets everywhere, Uchi Wally was a radio hit. Nas had a remix done, which everybody basically is on there doing the same thing. Nas just add a verse. This is why Jay-Z makes the joke. You had the worst flow on the song because he wasn't originally on the song. Nas just did anything just to get on the song real quick so they could remix it and get it back out on the streets. And they're going to film a video. See, the studio, Columbia Records, was like, oh, this is hot. We got to sell this with you, Nas. So what we're going to do is do a remix real quick. They release money so that they can make a video. And the only way they were going to make a video if Nas was in the video, but on the record. So this way, Columbia Records, Ill Will, they got Nas, they could sell it. So they were like, oh, it's already selling, but with Nas, it's going to go even higher. So Nas is just jumped in there, made a verse, and put it on the record, and they put it out. Now, when you put this record out, now I got Nas on it. Most people did, once they saw the video, they originally just think Nas was on the record. Nas was never on Uchi Wally. But he took all the money. Nas took all the money. All the money went to Nas. So when Horace and all these guys are asking, like, okay, when is our record deal? You know, like, what's going on? Where's the contracts? You know, it was like none coming. And he was like, man, like, what's going on? This Ill Will Records, the record label's here. We got the hottest song on the streets. We got to start working on our album. Like, what's going on? No album. No album. This is 2000. So 2001 is going on, and they basically touring with Nas. You know, so when they touring with Nas and doing all this, and they was doing the song, and Nas is basically paying them money, you know, a little bit of money to pay their bills and all that. And dude was like, man, I got a house, you know, I got a fiance. I need to know when we signing contracts. Nas is like, not now. We getting all that. We just trying to build up enough momentum, because Nas is more concerned about his thing more than the Bravehearts. He don't know how to balance two. He's a great rapper, not a great businessman when it comes to running a business. Now, let me repeat this. So, and I'm going to be very clear. Jay-Z is the same damn way. Jay-Z did not build Rockefeller Records. Let me tell you this right now. It's the biggest misconception in the whole history. Every artist Jay-Z had, he didn't make. Okay? He helped Beyonce's solo career, but Beyonce was already had 3 albums done with Destiny Child before Jay even came around. So Beyonce was already Beyonce. Okay, people knew she was Beyonce, okay? Every artist he had, Benny Siegel, Memphis Bleak, every out state property, name them all. Crash and burn. No, Jay Brown's signed Rihanna. Jay signed her after Jay Brown's brought her in. And what you don't know is Rihanna did about 2 albums. What you think, she just walked in and did Umbrella, right? No. Umbrella became a surprise hit. Then Jay put himself on the remix. Jay had nothing to do with the project at all with Rihanna no more. Until Umbrella hit. Then he came around and got on the remix, which was just god awful with him on it. So you guys I'm telling you, it's a lot of things you don't know that you just didn't pay attention to. Rihanna put out like 2-3 albums before that came out. Y'all didn't even know. Now, back to this situation, because they're very similar. Everybody here cool, right? I don't think they messing with the stream. Man, Guru Roach is back. I ain't seen Guru Roach in months. Well, if I'm lying about anything, please go get anybody. let them come out here and tell me what I'm lying about. Because everything I'm saying is 100% factual and documented. What do you want from me? So anyway, Nas at this time has not come up with any contracts for the label. It's 2000. Uchiwali is 2000. Nobody is signed to Ill Will Records. None of them have contracts. It's 2001. Stillmatic is coming out and all of this stuff. Man, Horse was like, I'm out. Dog, you ain't coming with these contracts. I'm going to just get a job. I'm not finna be your bodyguard. Because that's basically what I am. And I mean, I can make money getting a job. You know, I got my fiance, I'm engaged. We want, we want to, Nas is like, no, mama, don't leave. We got this. So then he was sending people back to try to get Horse. Instead of talking to Horse and having a conversation, he was like, man, come sit down and have a talk with me. Nas was too busy. So he sent Jungle and Nation over there. I mean, and what was it? Jungle and Wiz. He sent Jungle and Wiz over to his crib. And he was like, man, you see what I mean? He can't even sit down and talk to me. And dude home. You know what I'm saying? He home and can't even sit and talk to me. And he's like, man, I'm getting married. And I'm like, I ain't going out there on the road, man. I'm just going to get a job. I can get a good job now doing this. Instead of ripping and running, going across the country, we ain't get no contract, none of that. So it's done. I'm cool with it. So he was out the group, even though they sticking with Nas. Jungle and all them, they going out on tour, doing what they doing, moving and coming back in the hood, but they still have no record contract. So while they doing Stillmatic, 2001, this is when the Jay-Z beef is kicking off, right? So now the Stillmatic album is coming out. This is a whole nother year. They're recording again for a Queensbridge album. This is it. This is going to be the Queensbridge. We coming out with the album. It don't happen. Remember, Uchiwali is 2000. This time, Wiz is in the group more. And Nas is really trying to build up the money. Because what was happening is Columbia Records was in basically a negotiation with Nas. And they got to go back to the table to start renegotiating. And Nas is trying to get money for the label. He's putting out these projects. He did the remix to Illmatic to Stillmatic, the remixes, if you bought that. And then he put out Lost Tapes. So when he put out the Lost Tapes album and everything, he was trying to get out his deal and just putting out stuff to get money up so that he could finance everything for Ill Will Records, so he could build up stock value, so he can get more money sent in for the budget for the album from Columbia. Columbia was playing hardball because they just like, man, that kind of flew the coop. Like Nas missed the window. Like right after they did the Uchiwali, before the Stillmatic album and all that came out, that Braveheart album should have been coming out right after Uchiwali. Nas blew that whole window. So he took all the money from that Uchiwali. They have no publishing. Bravehearts, all that go to Ill Will, that goes to Nas. Nas had their names, none of it. They have no publishing on any of it. All of that went to Nas. That song alone went gold. All that was credited to Nas. Nas ate off that. They did not. Now, when it came to the Godson album, they're making their own record with Nas to try to get on the album. When they did the Stillmatic situation, they're on the song with Nas on the Flyers. The original song, The Flyers, does not have AZ on it. It has the Bravehearts and Nas on that record. That's the Flyers. Then they have Braveheart Party with Mary J. Blige on the record. That song got pulled off the album, unless you had the original Stillmatic album that had Mary J. Blige on there with the Bravehearts. And that was supposed to blow them up. This was all supposed to be a promotion so they could push their album. But with the Jay-Z beef, Jay-Z made Mary J. Blige Mary, I can't believe you're on a record with Nas, and I'm not gonna work with you anymore. So in case that at that time, Mary wanted to work with Jay, so she pulled off of the record. Like, I never gave permission for the record to go out. I don't want it, so they pulled it off of the album. So all the new reprints didn't have that song on there, Braveheart Party. So Braveheart Party, if you heard it, it's only probably now you can go on YouTube and listen to Braveheart Party. And you can listen to the original, The Flyers. Most people here already know what's up. Yeah, but when I first heard, oh, my Cash App is Carcino. Can't forget that. Karceno. Now, if you listen to The Flyers, when I first heard it, I said, man, they don't fit the song, the Bravehearts. They rapping way too hard for this record. Like, it don't even fit. Nas is the only one that's rapping the same. And sure enough, when the original album version comes out, it got AZ on it, and Nas got verses on there. The Bravehearts is off the record. It's just Nas and AZ. And it flowed better. And I said, now it works. The Nas verse fits with this. Because I knew right away, I'm like, Nas verse fit. They not even rapping they rapping way to the heart for this. Jungle was way too hard for that. His verse was way off the chart. Drive with the left, shoot with the right, kill somebody outside in broad daylight. I'm like, damn. Drive with the left, shoot with the right, kill somebody in the street, broad daylight. I said, oh my God. And then the verse is the same. So I'm like, this does not even, this record, this song, it does not go together. And I knew from the first time I heard it, that's how I know my ear is perfect. Because as soon as I heard it, I said, man, they don't fit on this record. The Bravehearts don't fit on this record with Nas. Nas' energy is going with the flow of the song. And they replaced him with with AZ. And I was like, oh, that worked way better. But I'm quite sure they got that original version right here on YouTube. So that's what I'm saying. Everything I got to do was like, man, you just lying. How you got all this knowledge and information? Dog, this stuff is documented right here in front of your face. It's like I'm saying something that's so revealing. Dog, it's already documented. I'm like, dog, I'm telling people you can go on YouTube and Braveheart Party got Mary J. Blige on it. And if you got the early version, like I do, I got Braveheart Party on the CD. Now, while this is done, still, there's no album. So another year goes by. When the Godson album came out and they rapping now, and Wiz is still in the group and everything, and Wiz is like, man, this ain't popping. After they did that Bravehearted song, and they did Zone Out. Thoroughly promoted by Godson. Yo, my Uzi weighs a ton, peace be like 1-1. I'm moving right past you chumps. And very thoroughly promoted by Godson. GODSONISOOTAG is a female estrogen with my testosterone, male hormone enough for a giant's body. Science, SCIENCE, don't tempt me. EMS against me. Me, I'm just invincible, like Mike Jack said. But me and Brown Sharpton won't be broken. Harlem, that's dead. Who made this out? Solo, XOUTFO's Dr. Modi, whoever I freaked it. Yes, so beat your death. I never rock Esco. I got a new line coming like cinemas. Remember the originals. People still trying to show niggas your rich townhouse, nigga. Woo! Man, that used to be the line. Nas blaze that. Who made this style? Solo or X or UTFO's Dr. Modi, whoever. I freaked it. Yes. Man. Yeah, no, I got that on memory, baby. I remember that verse. You got a house in Virginia. The only way you sicker than us. Getting bagged with 22s. Now yous are ridiculous. Oh, Nas with that cam hard. You got a house in Virginia. Which means what? HIV. Oh my goodness. Yeah. You got a house in Virginia. The only way you sicker than us. Damn. Damn. Getting bagged by 22s. Now yous are ridiculous. No need for the gunplay. It's okay, because you dying anyway. Ooh, man. Yes, Wiz would have stayed down. Wiz got tired of it because Horse told it was the same thing. They all communicated. Horse is like, see, I told you. He's not doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not happening. Nas is doing what Nas do. He focused on Nas, and that's it. And he ain't caring about nobody else, man. Wiz figured that out. Wiz is like, man, I'm going back to the block, man. I ain't finna do this no more. You know, like, this ain't happening. So he was out the group. Wiz went back to the bridge, like, man, I'm going back to the bridge. I can make money on the block. You know, instead of doing all this touring and all this stuff, man, it's going back and forth, and we ain't really making no money. No record deal. Nothing. So in 2003, they get on the song, the Quick to Back Down. Like 2000 with Lil Jon and the Braveheart. They had that Quick to Back Down with Lil Jon, with the Braveheart. Your whole style, you're quick to bow down. Yeah. So that became a monster hit. That was a hot record. Now you got Nation, and you got who was his cousin, who came and got involved. So now Wiz is out, Nation is in, and now you got I think you got Nature. I mean, not Nature, but Jungle. It's just Jungle and Wiz. I mean, Jungle and Nation. They the Bravehearts time. So the Millennium Thug was brought in, which is they supposed to be cousins, from what I know. Because on Quick to Bow Down, I think this is when Wiz got back in the group. Because he was out. Nation was like on the side of him. And he was called Millennium Thug. And they was finna promote the Millennium Thug, which was Nation. So anyway, whatever you want to call it, Wiz was back in the group when he came with like, yo, Jungle went and got him and said, look, get back in the group. We here now. They make a record. They sign a BS contract just to say, hey, we making this album. The contract had like no guarantee. It was the publishing was all written over to Nas. Nas was the executive producer. Nas had everything, you know. And they put this album out. They had basically no money. All the money went basically to paying Nas. They had to pay Nas. This is where they really didn't know the business of it, and they don't know how the record company worked. Like Nas had to get paid for his appearances. So the record label, like the Bravehearts, which Nas owned, Nas had to pay himself out of the budget. So the budget to make the album, Nas was getting paid. It wasn't like he was doing that for free. Nas got paid. So they don't even know it. They're paying Nas to be on their records and on his own record label. So that's taken away from them. Nas is the executive producer. Nas have all the budget money. Once they came out to getting paid, when they was getting their check, man, Wiz was out of there, man. Wiz was like, I'm done. I'm out. I'm done with Bravehearts, man. Done. I'm not a Braveheart. Let me out. It was over. Nation wasn't signed to Ill Will Records at the time. He didn't have a contract. It would feature Nation. Nation was featuring on there. Because I don't know if he had another deal someplace else, but he wasn't signed to Ill Will Records. So he was on like maybe 3-4 songs. He was not a real member of the group. It was just Wiz and Jungle. They was in the group. Wiz was out. Wiz broke out. He was like, man, can we get this done? You know, we need to get this out here. We need to, you know, pump the records. And he wasn't feeling it. Well, the thing is that Nas wasn't really dealing with it like that. Nas is more concerned about his thing. Quan never signed with Nas. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Nas is supposed to sign Quan to it. Nas was trying to get Quan his own deal with another record label. Like Nas got Shine his record deal while he was in prison. Nas the one negotiated that deal, I believe, with Def Jam or somebody to get Shine an album while he was locked up. Nas negotiated that. So he got paid for negotiating that deal and came in and got his credits and points that way on the Shine album. So he was trying to get Quan a record deal. And this was after this fact. But this was about the Bravehearts. Now the Bravehearts came in and they was doing this and they put this album together and it didn't pop because they had no marketing, no promotion. Columbia Records didn't push the album. They didn't push it at all. Quick to Back Down was a hot song, but the album took too long to come out after the single. And Columbia Records just wasn't really feeling the album. Nas was on 2 songs or maybe 3, because I think they did a remix of Uchiwali and put that on the Bravehearted album, which was 3 years old. You could have song that's 3 years old on this album just to have another Nas record on there. I used to love that. Bust my gun for the one I love. Bust my guns for the one I love. Yeah, I used to love that track. But anyway, Nas had a song called Twilight that he did with Swiss. He had that on there. And the Bravehearted song that Jungle produced the beat. And he came out and Nas rapped on that and put a verse. And like I said, Nas was paid heavily to be on the album. So he took a lot of the budget money off of this. All aboard the B train. It's the B train. All aboard the B train. Yeah, and I'm thinking about the whole album. It's the B train. It's the B train. All aboard the B train. Yeah, it was another song, Situations, I believe, was on there. It was about two, 3 songs, but Nas took all the budget money. Nas kept everything. So they got screwed off the publishing. Everything they signed away, they didn't know it. That's why Wiz left. This is why the Bravehearts didn't never go anywhere. That was just some little side project Nas put together for his brother, give him a little money, but Nas was making some money off of it. And the fact that they didn't capitalize off Uchiwali, and 3 years later, here comes the album. They blew that opportunity. So Nas ended up letting Ill Will Records just go into defunct because he totally didn't know how to run a record label. Now, when he has his mass appeal thing, Nas is a little bit, he got people around who could help him out better because he didn't know what the hell he was doing. And all these people's lives was, signed to him. So, that's important when you got all these artists signed to you or you have other artists signed to you, you got these people's lives, so it is what it is. That's it. Jungle is a street dude with a brother who raps because Jungle went back to the block. He, started doing his own thing. So he came out with Money Machine Records. And they was, because he was like, Nas was like, man, I'm not even dealing with that. So Jungle was like, let me do my thing. So Jungle went and made his own rap label and put it with Ill Will, and had his own thing, Money Machine Records. So when Money Machine Records was coming out, that's when he decided to do the sequel to Bravehearted and had the Bravehearts 2 when it was really just him and Nation. And they had 2 other artists in there, a guy named Young Pretty and another guy. Young Pretty is from like Arkansas. He's from out in Arkansas, down south. So they was getting talent from everywhere. So they went and they was signing artists right away. Like Jungle was hitting the floor grinding. You know what I'm saying? So when he was doing his thing, they was touring with Nas, and Nas had just got up with Jay-Z, and they was back cool. And he was with Def Jam now. He was off Columbia. So this was many years later. And that's when I got the footage when they was in Chicago and they was dissing Lil Wayne. So they was at it with Wayne at that time. Quan came home and they was going at it with Lil Wayne. Wayne had opened his mouth a little bit too much and put himself in a situation where he was like, I'm the greatest rapper, and he dissed Nas and stuff on the track. on a freestyle, and he should have never did that. And that freestyle leaked, and boy, it was on. Rockabye, rockabye, baby. My brother doing songs with Jay-Z. Ooh. And Lil Wayne Kiss, baby. What the them dudes done went crazy. You know where I'm at. I'm in the bridge, baby. With everybody's over there. They flipping pies, baby. I got an X550 and I drive crazy. I hit the chick, hit your chick. Now she tried to have my baby. I ain't the daddy. Man, y'all probably never heard these records. If you can find Rockabye Baby, that is a classic with Jungle and them. They was bumping that track out there. Rockabye Baby. And then Nas got the diss track on Lil Wayne. I did this, the truth behind the Nas and Lil Wayne beef. I told y'all that. Y'all didn't think it was existent. It's Nas and Quan. They got on that Hey DJ beat and they murked that. Yo, I just got out of a helicopter. Man, that was hilarious. When he said that, man, I laughed so hard, man. I couldn't even help it. That's how the song start off with Nas go, I just got out of a helicopter. And if you don't catch that diss, you don't know Cash Money Records. You know, they were always bragging about getting out of candy color helicopters. Candy color chopper. So when now I start the song off and the hey DJ B come on and everything, and I was just, dude, yo, I just got out of a helicopter. Dog, I swear, it's just like that. Man, throw Patron in your face, put a lighter to it. You blew up, homie. You ain't new to this. Oh, man. Man, that song is funny because Quad just got out of jail and he was rapping hard. My man Quan just did 7 years. You think he got time to listen to what you saying? You quit. Oh man. You want Nate to come on the stream yard? That'd be dope. You can get Nate Sean on there. I bet you Nature know everything I'm talking about right now. I can tell you that right now. Nature would come in here and probably validate every single thing I say. Why did he diss Kobe Bryant on Street's Disciple? Because he was disappointed in Kobe. He's like, man, you let them use you. As an example, you know, like now they like, see, he was the squeaky clean guy, you know, and once he did that, the NBA turned their back on him until everything died down. Yeah, Dr. Dre wanted to sign Nature. A lot of people like Nature could rhyme. That's what I'm saying. Nature was rhyming, but it started to go to his head. He was like, "Yeah, you hear everybody saying I'm better than Nas," and he really was feeling he was better than Nas. He was really feeling himself at a point, man. It was getting out of hand. Yes, sir. So if you ain't on the Casino for Life Patreon, you need to be on there because right now we got the birth of Christianity, and that is burning a hole through the floor. I told you we was gonna reveal something you've never heard, and when you had visual to go right along with it, shocked you, didn't I? You thought I was play pimping. Told you I wasn't playing no games. It was the rap more lucrative then or now? It's more lucrative now, but to a different degree. Back then, you could have money. Now, guys are getting like all of these sponsorship deals and all these opportunities that was created off the back of what happened back then. Now it's all this endorsement money that's coming out of nowhere, like from all angles. So you can make other avenues happen for you. So you're paid a lot of money up front quick before you even done anything. But that money's going right back out the door because the record contracts are screwing you right from the jump. So you're not going to make any money off your albums. The Migos are screwed. Okay, they're forced to make the Culture 3 album or the Culture 4, whatever they finna do. When they make this new Culture album, they ain't gonna make a cent off that record. That record is to pay off all the other people they owe. Yeah, it's bigger venues and you can get bigger money, but let's take it back. Rappers was in a much better space because you were selling more records then. You see what I'm saying? You were selling more records, doing more shows. You could get things done. You didn't have to travel as much. You can sell gold without even Redman was selling 500,000 copies and just staying on his block. He had no radio. He didn't need no radio at all. Now it's a little bit different with streaming the way it is, the way Spotify and all these guys pay you. The artist is not really going to make a lot of money off Spotify. That's why a lot of these artists suing Spotify and the record label. The record company is still going to make money because what they're doing is funneling your song that's 20 years old back to the streaming platform. You're going to get pennies on the dollar on Spotify and everybody else. They're not paying you that much as the artist. The record label is getting this stuff reused all over again, so they're going to get their hits. But the artist isn't getting anything. That's why a lot of people was fighting and arguing. This is why Jay-Z wanted to make Tidal, but Jay don't know how to run a business. That's why he sells it all. Sold Rockaware because he can't run a business. Everything he get, he sells. Then I tell people he's gonna sell Tidal. What do he do? Sold Tidal. This is what he do. That's what Jay do. He take the money and run. Jay-Z signed a 360 deal. Y'all didn't know that? Jay-Z signed a 360 deal. So a 360 deal isn't a bad deal if you know what you're doing. See, what the 360 deal was the reason why a 360 deal was brought into play. That's right. I told all you guys this. Jay-Z signed a 360 deal with Live Nation. he got out of his 360 deal when it was time to renegotiate. And now he gets all the money on shows and tours, and they only get paid on his album now. So he got out of his 360 position. But the thing is that when he first did the 360 deal, he needed that for collateral. The record companies have to reinsure that they're going to get their money because they burnt up a lot of their revenue in the 90s, putting out all these records, trying to think, okay, we just keep putting these guys out and we can make money. We're taking the money. We're making the money up front. We're giving them this little 350, 450, 550, whatever the budget is, so they can make the album and we can hit the streets and then we get all this stuff and we getting the money. The major labels was tired of these records weren't selling. These albums weren't selling. They just giving anybody record deals. And what happened, it was burning up record companies. And Loud Records was one of them. They signed all these artists and put all these artists out. None of them was selling except for Mobb Deep and Wu-Tang. That's it. So they were the only artists that was really selling. So Loud Records folded, but they weren't the only ones doing it. It was a lot of other record companies that were small, that was going into hip hop, started out their branches, and they burnt themselves out by putting out all these products that wasn't selling. So record companies were losing money. It's like what record companies do is they're basically giving you a loan, hoping that you can pay them back, hoping that you're successful enough that you can give them their money back and they can make some money with you. But it's not like as soon as they grab an artist, that artist's going to take off and blow. There's a lot of artists that don't go anywhere, that they've spent their money on and wasted. So people don't ever see that. They always think, man, the record company ripped me off, man. No, they spent money on your budget. They put all this stuff to try to boost you up, and nobody bought your records. They didn't connect to you for whatever the reason, and they wasted 2 albums with you, and you're not going anywhere. That's a lot of artists. They didn't go nowhere. Like the rapper Nine, remember him? What you want, Nine? Mad beats for my rhymes. And my name is like Zion 80. Everybody thought DMX was Nine when he came out. What you want, Nine? Fat beats for my rhymes. And my name is lights. In 90. Came out with the album 9 Lives. What you want, Nine? And people didn't know he was making his voice sound like that. That's not how he even talked. Mad beats for my rhymes. Everybody, so when DMX came out, they was like, man, is that 9 guy? So 9 album didn't really take off like the way they thought it was going to do. And they lost money. They put a lot of money into 9 and it didn't work. Yeah, Big Pun did sell, but then Big Pun passed, and then that was it. So yeah, Loud Records, and they had so many artists, man. There's so many artists they signed. Like Steve Rifkin lost his mind. He just got so greedy and kept expanding too fast, and he ruined the label. Well, yeah, that's what RZA did. Most of these guys were never gonna get a record deal in the first place. That's how the RZA looked at it, So that was, these dudes was just guys off the streets, and he was giving them an opportunity to shine, and that's what they didn't really understand. But he had a better platform than Nas did. Like RZA was getting their work out there. You know what I'm saying? You talking about 20, 30 people. on a rap group. You know how many people that was signed with the Razor Sharp label and all these rappers? Man, they had so many dudes, it's crazy. The Killer Army, the Killer Bees, they had, man, dude, it was so many dudes eating and getting some money off that. So that Wu-Tang had projects out every year. Now, we're going to get into that on a separate video because I'm actually doing a video on that. And then we're going to go deep into the whole Wu-Tang dynasty. Why didn't Nas answer super ugly? He actually did. He did it on a radio station. Plus, he kept making songs. Like he said, when Jay-Z opened up and said, "Uh-oh," it was all over. Once he said, "Uh-oh," it was already over. He didn't lie. Once he said, once he said, "Uh-oh," it was already over. And he ain't lying. Just like when I heard Nas say, "Heary, heary," I knew the song was going left. And he was like, "You said, uh-oh." He's like, "What, you Nelly now?" You Nelly? Uh-oh. Oh man, I was on the floor. He was like, "What, you Nelly now?" That's what I'm saying. Nas responded back plenty of times to Super Ugly as he continuously ripped through Jay-Z on everything he was doing. No, this wasn't when he destroyed everybody at that time. That's not when he aired everybody out. The People Talking was just another terrible record. Another terrible diss record. He was just making records. He was so hurt. Jay made about 4 to 5 to 6 Nas disses back to back to back and was just putting them out. This is why Cameron cut him off Old Boy, because he was dissing Nas on Old Boy, and he was like, cut that off, because it was terrible. He was like, "You ain't this boy, you ain't on that boy, you ain't this boy." He cut that off. He cut Jay Verse off. It was terrible. It was god awful. And Cam knew it and was like, "If we put this out, it's gonna ruin my record." He did a remix to a song. Because he was at beef. He had beef with J.O. Felony. And he was using this to push the state property thing, but now he switched that to Nas. So he took the verse off of Marcyville and switched it and put a verse on there for Nas. So it's 2 versions of Marcyville. In case you didn't know, it's the one he put in there for the one that was the original one with J.O. Felony in there. Check the 4 corners of this earth. I'm a man of respect. Marcy Process, mother. I'm the man of respect. Niggas, we're calling it cleaners. J.O., you're not a felon. You a misdemeanor. Y'all trying to see me out the game like Dada. How the unk you gonna try us? You can't deny yourself $1. It's the Rock. It's holler. Beef ain't nothing to a boss, man. I come in there and kick in the doors, waving the full on. All they heard was Jigga, I don't want it no more. So that was the original verse that Jay had. Once the Nas beef had, he wanted to take the whole verse off and put a whole new verse on, all for Nas. People's on my nerves, trying my patience. Like, I don't carry around banana clips like groceries. Make the president, make him not want to get close to me. He's talking like we supposed to be. Brothers don't make me laugh, motherfucker. You chose to be on the side opposing me. No matter the culture you be from, young home like you answer explosively. The one to put the J for you. Gotta do it like this and gotta take it like back in the day for you. They don't respect nothing else. Something else. 2 guns for son that get besides himself. 2 grown bullets to get inside his health and take the wind out of his soul, like so. And everybody's like, screw me. They out there want to do me. Annulating things they saw in the Art of War movie when I'm the writer of Sun Tzu. So whatever Sun do, I do better. Way lyrics, way more cheddar. Catch me and you can. It's the gingerbread man. Keep pumping them up. I will end your bread drain. People trying to capitalize off hope. Like I don't realize I see the demons inside of your soul. People is dreaming to sell what I sold. People is fiending to hell what I hold. I just know what I know. I'm respected all across the globe, although I'm from. So when he did that verse and put that verse in the place of that, hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Nope. When Nas came out with that caveat, never. Simple. I'm eating, what did he say? He said caviar never. I'm eating catfish and hot sauce and catfish. And man, just a simple brother to please. I had a bad chick with dimples in her cheeks. She remembered busy bee battles when it was peace. I found myself drifting in thought because life is different. I thought people was raised off the songs I record like I was brought up off that Planet Rock. Curtis Blow, James Todd Smith, Shelley and Scott, Lil Rock in them jams. How could they mess with the Dawn? Jehovah Witness, him and his co-defendants. I eat them like Lucky Charms with 2% low-fat milk. I'm 5% pro-black built. It's nothing. Mother had the mother. Uncle, I don't really talk about it. It's a profit, and I'm a prophet, and I can't go back to my projects. Can I? Can a pen go back to the block? Yes. Do trees grow from the florist? MCs, y'all are clitoris. Y'all dudes rap like anybody in the clique, any crew. Doing what's ever trendy. Even enemy too. Ain't enough room in this town. What do you call ghetto word spitters for crowns? Come on, baby. Where y'all at? I see you, John O'Connor. Hey, hit the Cash App up. Carcino's the name. Karceno. So he was still throwing shots at Jay. That's what I said. Jay had so many rounds. They were going back and forth. Jay, I'm trying to keep people from killing you. You still talking it to me. You're not as smart as you appear to be. I got dum-dums for dum-dum to understand. Got an itchy finger, left hook in the right hand. Like pull, got a flow like damn. The new death row is the Rockefeller fam. No disrespect intended, but if you offended, I don't give a F. Handle your business. The whole world's against us, and we will not surrender. We will survive. Turn out your lights to Teddy Pender, grass. Listen to the mic as I proceed. Oh man, they were going back and forth, dog, back and forth. They were continuously going off on each other. His obituary gonna read that I was the first fake Rapper murdered for rhyming. The jig is up. Gut him like fish and Swiss cheese him up. I am the first fake rapper murdered for rap. The jig is up. Gut him like fish and sweet cheese him up. Trying to stand tall like he's big as skyscrapers, but you smaller than a shanty in an African village. Man, I'll tell you. Oh man, it's hilarious. Like everybody like that that everybody wants to rule the world, that rule on the Stillmatic album. Y'all missed the Jay-Z diss on that too. When he said, I know the Most High hear me. He was talking to Jay-Z because he called himself Jehovah. So he said, I know the Most High hear me, but he too fly, he can't hear me. He's scared of a mirror. My theory. Y'all done missed all these lines, dog. I'm telling you, there's so many lines that he threw in there. I know the Most High hear me. He's so fly, he can't hear me. He's scared of a mirror. My theory is that. That's hilarious, dog. I mean, damn. Y'all missed that whole bar. I mean, it's been 20 years damn near people that missed that bar. I told my boy about that. He was like, damn, I never knew that. He's like, and now it's even more funny. Because that is hilarious. I know the Most High hear me. He's so fly, he can't hear me. He's scared of a mirror. He's scared of a mirror. Oh man, Nas was riding him so hard. Dog, y'all have no idea how hard Nas was riding him. Dude, like it was over. Like the whole R. Kelly thing happened right when he did the album with R. Kelly. Nas rode him to the ground. He rode him to the ground. It was just all going bad for him. It was really going bad. Yeah, they was asking him about the R. Kelly thing. He was like, well, you know, we can't excuse Jay, you know. How do we know Jay-Z wasn't holding the camera? How do we know Jay-Z wasn't holding the camera? Ooh, baby. Dude, do you understand how, dog, y'all don't know because Nas is quiet. He is low-key ruthless on riding somebody. How do we know Jay-Z wasn't holding the camera? They was like, well, you know, Jay-Z's distancing himself from R. Kelly now over there. Well, you know, they did an album together. You can't separate yourself. You did an album with them. How do we know Jay-Z wasn't holding the camera? Man, that is ruthless. Dude, that is the coldest thing anybody could say. See, y'all don't remember the tours. You know, they got the one tour recorded where he did the Made You Look, the Godson tour. But man, when he was doing the tour for Stillmatic, It was brutal. They played the songs, cry music, and it was like, what? Dude want to get soulful? You ain't got no soul. How you gonna get soulful when you ain't got no soul? The dude's so ugly, he make the song cry. Y'all don't know any of this because this was live. Live, B. Live. This when it was hot. Nas was roasting him. It was over. Roasting him. And nobody was knowing this. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Of course I remember that. You on top. What? Copying. I said it first. You repeat it. Your false crown covered in dirt defeated. Niggas all hell. The king is dead. Walking like a thing with his tail between his legs. Still mad. Still eye for an eye. You want to be God? You just the next rapper to die messing with Nas. Oh! Oh! Don't get me started. Don't get me started. That was so hard. That made Jay pick up the mic and go, oh, I gotta go. This is it. I gotta go.